Okay, so I think you know what I'm probably going to say. We're going to be printing skirt pieces 5 and 6. Next week will be the last pieces of the skirt that we prepare, so we'll actually be using them next week. 0.3 layer height, fairly fast print. Haven't changed the settings, but they are fairly fast. And these came out in just short of 10 hours. And again, I'm rather happy with the print. Okay, so these are the pieces that I've got. That's just piece number 5. Looks pretty similar to the other straight pieces. There seems to be 3 straight pieces and 3 pieces that go into the corner. So at this stage, I'm going to assume that the pieces 7 and 8 will be the same. So these are going to go together like that. So what I'll do, just for fun, we'll put them with the last week's pieces 4 and 3. These don't really stand up too well on their own, so they might tip over. However, it will give you a fairly good idea. Obviously that's going over now. So you see I'm struggling with the camera now, but there it is. Let's just get a little ruler. So 12, 13, it's about 14 inches across by about 17 inches across. I believe that the dome ring will actually come out further. So yeah, rather happy. Again, the quality on some of the pieces is not perfect because of my printer. I don't really think that's going to make a major difference in the end. So we're now a few weeks into the project. I've got to be honest with you, because there's no set of clear instructions on how to do this. We've just had to find our own way. I've been printing pieces off. Some pieces I'm printing for future, and some pieces I'm printing off for a near project. One of the problems I'm actually coming up against, which is a bit of an odd problem, I've got all these parts sitting all over the place. I've got parts there, and obviously because I'm making the R2 in advance, I've got parts that I've hidden up because I've printed them off, but I've obviously not shown them on the video yet, so I don't want to reveal things that we don't need. However, to solve the problem of having all these extra parts lying around, we've got the dome that obviously needs doing. We need the body. I've come across the problem with the ring, which is I don't feel it's absolutely straight, which is why we started printing the skirt. So what we can actually do now, I can now make a 4-week plan. This week we're going to be preparing the rings. Now I've been doing some dry fitting with these rings, and the way that everyone has been doing them is to actually stick the rings together to make one piece and then popping the rings on. The problem I have with that is that I don't know if it's because of the pieces, or because of the ring, or because I'm not confident, whatever. I'm not sure if those pieces are going to fit. So what I mean by preparation is we're going to put together the pieces, we're going to prepare them ready. So for example, let's see if I can find, there we go. Right, so here's 5 and 6, which I've picked at random. So these are going to go together like that. So we'll drill out the holes, and then we'll get the little locating pegs in, and we'll leave it there so that they're ready. Next week we'll put the skirt assembly, we'll assemble the skirt. So these pieces will sit in the box. I can't do the skirt this week because obviously we haven't finished printing it. And then once we assemble the skirt, we'll get all of that ready. And then the next week we'll actually fit the skirt. Now the plan to fit the skirt, it'll all be bolted in. So we'll bolt that in, and then what we can do is we can get a heat gun and we can actually just heat the ring up, and then that will, if it's warped, we'll just bring that back straight. I have had some practices with pieces, which I'll go through in later videos. Then once we've got that ring, we know that ring is as flat as it can be, we can start to do the ring assembly. And the way that I'm going to do that is I will first of all glue in piece number 1, then I will glue in the next piece. Here we go, piece number 2, and we'll make sure that's straight. Anything that has a locating peg we can put straight into the ring. Anything that hasn't, we'll need to put that into the next piece along. And I think theoretically anyway that that's going to be the best way to approach it. So that's what we'll do. Once we finish those next 4 weeks, it may possibly stretch out another week, and we'll begin work on the dome. And I'm just going to have a little look at my planner. The dome I think is going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, about 8 weeks. And because we'll be doing work but not actually making so much stuff, I think the budget will really go up. So there'll be less things to actually print. And also I'm going to give you a sneak preview. I have some logic lights. These will come out in a later episode. Now these will go on to the side piece round about there. Well, you can't see it really, and these will have some flashing lights. Now the theory that I've done on this is that these, you can actually buy these. There are pros and cons to buying them, but I want to try to make as much of this as I possibly can, so that when it comes, I've just noticed I've lost a bulb, ignore me. So when it comes to, sorry about that, when it comes to the end of the build, if I've built absolutely everything, I can go, I built that, even if it's not the best, which it probably won't be anyway. If I've bought something, I mean some things I'm going to have to buy, but if I can make as much as I possibly can, then obviously I'll have that sense of satisfaction. So I'm going to be making the LED bulbs, and we've been practicing with these, and it's a lot of it's trial and error, and we've made many mistakes, but we finally hit upon a solution. But there is an awful lot to do. I think there's something like 270 bulbs to do. So what we will be looking at doing is, when we have a week where we don't want to print something, we'll just do some bulbs. We'll do maybe 10 bulbs, which for me will take 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and I think that's a good amount of work in the week. So lastly, I'm going to start doing the prep. I've been thinking about the music. I'm running out of directly Star Wars related music, so I thought for this week what I'll do, when I was younger I used to have an Amiga computer. Those of you that are very young probably won't know what I'm talking about. This is the early days of the good computer games, and there was a few games that I used to play. So while I'm doing this ring prep, what I'll do is I will put on this music, and we'll see if anyone can guess what game it's from. So just to describe what I'm doing beforehand, I'm all of these little locating pegs that you've got, all these little holes, I'm going to get my 2mm drill. I'm just going to drill a hole in them, and I'm going to get my filament, and I'm just going to glue the filament in there, let it dry, trim it down to size, dry fit it. You will notice I'll start a little production line, and what I'll do is I will get one piece, I'll drill all the holes out, I'll drill the filament in, and I'll pop that in the middle, and then I'll go back, I'll get another piece, then I'll go back to the first piece, and I'll just make sure it fits with the previous piece, and so on. So you'll kind of see me jump between 2 or 3 pieces. So hope you enjoy what I'm doing, and I hope you enjoy the music. Okay, nice easy print to finish off with, mainly because of the size of it. This is ring 29B, usual settings, and this should take just less than 6 hours. Okay, this is how it came out. Not awful, could be a lot better, but I don't think it's going to need a reprint. If we look at the previous what I'm going to call 9 sections, this is the part that we did last week, and it's going to go in something like that. I've got to confess, I don't know exactly what this is. What I do know is that this is going to go on the side and the arm is going to be here, and then eventually we'll get round to the other side and there'll be another load of pieces just like this, which will be on this side with the other, sorry, not the arm, the leg. I do apologise, but I cannot remember at the moment. I'll make sure I know for next week how these go together, and I know that there is another, not very thick, but there's another little plate going to go in the ending. See, there's a little gap there. Okay, so I'm happy with that, so let's have a look at the costings. Okay, so last week we had £27.97. We added £10 to that. The 2 skirt pieces came to £3.80 with a body ring coming to £2.32. Obviously a little bit cheap because it's a bit smaller. That brought the spending this week to £6.12, which gives us £31.85 at the end of the project.